I have two biological children, Gabriel Edward and Tyreek Edward. Gabby died on Boxing Night 2017. She was 20 years old. She got knocked down by a police officer, right? That changed my perspective of life in general. Good day, my name is Marvin Edward. Born and bred in Sangre Grande. I'm father of two, one deceased, as you can see in the background. And also I have the love of my life, Shanaka Wilson, and she has presented me with two bonus children. I'm a real estate agent / artist / panist. Art and music is therapy for me, right? Especially with regards, not only because of Gabby's death, but because of the experiences of life in general. I was inspired by an ex-neighbor called, his name is Aldrin Seeley. Aldrin now lives in Germany, but he was an excellent artist. He used to use pen and he could draw anything. And I got inspiration from that. I did art in school, Northeastern College, as a subject. Failed, I got a 3 in art. Stopped doing art for about 6 years. And then I picked up a pencil and started to sketch. And somebody saw my work and said, you ever got into the airbrush? I said, I never saw an airbrush. I only heard about it at Max or whatever. And I decided to teach myself. I bought an airbrush and I taught myself how to paint. And this is the reason why I am producing all this. My first memory of Panama was Woman on the Base in 1980. I was 8 years old and I said I could see myself doing that. So when I left primary school and I went to Northeastern College, Mr. John Baptiste introduced me to the steel pan. I was originally supposed to be playing the guitar and glockenspiel, but he found out I was too small for me, so he put me in the pan. And since 1985 to now, so this year is actually my 40th year in pan, from 85 to 2025. So I had to play chorus in 1990, right? And then eventually headed across to the Renegades Steel Orchestra, BP Renegades to be exact. In 2020 to now, but of course I'm taking this year off to concentrate on real estate. So where real estate is concerned, how did I get into that? I did a lot of things. I was a teacher, a primary school teacher for a year, from 91 to 92. I was a firefighter for 9 years, from 92 to 2001. And then I worked in oil and gas from 2001 to 2023. Because of the changes in the oil and gas industry, I decided to put Plan B in effect. So I did a Realtor training. I also was trained under Remax in sales and business management and so on. And I had that in the background. So when my company decided to give me an option to either leave or stay, I decided to start into real estate. So it was a nice natural transition into oil and gas, because I studied safety and stuff while I was in the fire services as well. So when I went across oil and gas, I was already a safety professional. I was already a medic. I was a safety supervisor in Massey Wood. I had to do a lot of things. So there's administration, there's training, there's site visits, and that sort of thing. I was in the construction department for most of my tenure as well. So I would have been introduced, I would have gotten a taste of the real estate in the construction side of things. And then of course, I always like real estate. Grande has produced a lot of musicians. For instance, Mr. Thomas, we call him Mr. Craig. I think he was one of the musicians that created Dingoli, Sang by Shadow, right? And he is also responsible for a lot of national badminton champions, about 5 or 6 or even more, right? There are a lot of national sportsmen that pass through Sangre Grande, in basketball and football and cricket, a lot of things. Of course, you have Sangre Grande Cadets, who would have been a mainstay in the Panama world for many, many years, So I think that people just misunderstand Grande and say Grande is bush. And so let me kill some misconceptions, right? First thing, Grande is not a flooding area. There are certain parts in Grande that floods. Yeah, like the real estate man there. With regards to Grande, where crime is concerned, I think of Grande as one of the safest places ever. Right? I live in Pine Settlement, Ojo Sangre Grande. Right? People call it a hotspot. It's not a hotspot. There has been some activities that could cause persons to wonder, but we're ensuring that hasn't happened. I could walk comfortably at any hour in my area and be comfortable. You understand where I'm coming from? So I think people have to stop labeling and stigmatizing certain areas because of what even Lavantil. Right? Yes, Lavantil has some challenges, but a lot of prominent persons, Destra, Marcus from Panchimbago, ministers, a lot of prominent persons come out from these areas. So we gotta stop dealing with the area and deal with whatever it is that needs to be dealt with in isolation. But beside that, Grande is a real comfortable place. It's a connection to Mansan to go to the beach. It's a connection to Toko, connection to go Miaro. So there are a lot of natural sites that Grande is like a junction for a lot of wonderful areas. And Grande itself is a one. And now we have a highway passing through Grande. Plus we have rituals and these things coming up. They're doing some construction, a new gas station. So Grande is developing very, very quickly. And of course, with the developers like DG Homes and so on, they would have upgraded certain areas. There are a lot of construction taking place in Grande right now. So very soon Grande will be the next city. You know what I mean? It's no longer in the bush.